Devolution across the continent of Africa and across the globe has negative and positive consequences. Good morning, viewers, wherever you are across the continent of Africa. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Political Command Center. Thank you very much for watching and your patronage for Punchline Africa Television in these Christmas days. We are heading to the new year. And thank you very much, all our viewers across the continent for the last 6 years. We thank you. We bring facts bold as they are. We have come back with new energy, and we shall not be cowed down. But good morning, the rest of Africa. Good morning, all of you. Good morning in Nairobi, in Narok, Tawish, Olesisana. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Dr. David Masanga from the Political Command Center. Good morning to our viewers watching this program in Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the world. My great pleasure to join you on Good Morning Africa, Dr. Masanga.
Across Africa, from Accra, Abuja, Tripoli, Cairo, Harare, Johannesburg, Cape Town, where Bishop Desmond Tutu is lying in state ready for the funeral. Africa has missed a son. a great son who fought against apartheid. Good morning. Across the West in Democratic Republic of Congo, where Africa lost Patrice Lumumba, we still mourn, and we mourned until they brought back the dead body in 2020. How cruel are imperialists? How cruel? How could you keep from 1961 to 2020 is when you brought back the body of Patrice Lumumba. Good morning, DRC Congo. It has never seen peace. Left in Somalia, east of Kenya, we have a nightmare. A government, not government, with government, but without government. A state without governance, no governance with governance purportedly. We shall be looking at that at the top of the hour. Back in Kenya, good morning. The Standard newspaper talks about, revealed the serial killings of Molo River. Killings have become killings in most of the parts of Africa. What has gone wrong with Africa is what we don't know, but it looks like it has become the norm. People kill others. People kill others and they hide them. You hide them in the bushes, hide them in the rivers, hide them everywhere. We have a problem. This is Punchline, Africa Television. Serial killers killing people. Rallies raise political heat in Western Kenya. As a Luhya editor, today I opened something on my post about Cleopas Malala. Malala, editors in Africa, when they point a finger at you, if you are not careful, it could curse you. The best that Cleopas Malala can do is to pay homage to Deputy President William Ruto, because he built him a house. You know, Tawish, it is sad for us in Africa, in Luhya culture. If another man builds you a house and comes to tell people, I built him a house, your wife, if he's hearing, will pack the goods and go away. So Malala's house was built by Dr. William Ruto. What Malala should do, instead of confusing everybody and carrying all this support what he claims, he should actually pay homage to His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, because Dr. William Ruto is a Kenyan and they are all Kenyans. You can support anybody you want, but don't drag the entire, Luhya community into your house affair, where you are given a house, paid a house, you have built a house. You are not a man in our community, in our culture. I come from Tawish, from the clan that is called the Umukuka clan, which governs Luhya culture. You cannot do any culture in Luhya without permission from our clan. So I therefore speak as a Luhya editor. Malala seems to be having a curse. And the more you argue with the Atwoli, the more you argue with the editors, you are being cursed. So let them pay back by giving support to whichever candidate they want. But these threats of saying you'll go and block a rally in Buhungu Stadium, organize your rally and in the same stadium, call people. There's no problem. Call your own people. UDA can call their people in the Buhungu Stadium. They will be given permission and they talk to people. If Atwoli is calling people for a get-together party and he has got the money to call them, leave him to call his rally. The only problem that I am not comfortable with big rallies is the type of COVID that is spreading so fast. Otherwise, I don't have any problem with somebody calling Israel at any time, anywhere on planet Earth. As long as they are coordinated by the police, there is nothing. There's nothing wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very important that we try and do things that are possible instead of doing things that are impossible. You see? So that is it. That is what is on the standard. Elsewhere on the standard, I can see ruling on the forced sterilization, how Tolidedi Muhungu 2 defies Western vote status quo, how low turnout for jab during festive season, the positivity rate has reached 37.6%. I am more worried about that, Tawish. If you can touch on it quickly, briefly, in summary, in point form. Families demand justice for King shot dead in Turbo. Telecom sues Attorney General for 15 land acquired for sports ground. Hey, the government institution actually fighting another government institution. So I don't know what happens, but there you are. I leave it to you people to sort out. King staged the political coup and make a big gamble. When he cracks in Jubilee finally tore party apart leaders, that's very important. Tawish, that is the standard. And in Daily Nation, MPs in a fresh plot to clip Uhuru's powers. This headline is misleading. Uhuru is leaving in 7 months. They should have said to clip president's powers, because it is not Uhuru you are targeting. That's why at times newspapers, when you get a man like, there's a man who was in the Star, who is now the editor, reading editorials online. What is his name? The man, the brown guy. You see, it is so sad. Therefore, when you see such things, it doesn't augur well. And you can't clip the Uruzi wings powers. He's going 70 months. If that is, if the election is there at all. Tawish.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ari, and thank you for the introductory remarks on this program this morning. Indeed, Dr. Masanga, if I should begin commenting on, of course, the remarks about the Senator for Kakamega, Cleophas Malala. It's very, very unfortunate, Dr. Masanga. And I think even yesterday I did mention during our last night's show about Cleophas Malala's sentiments. And this is akin to balkanizing the country and having regional regional political entities that nobody else should have to cross. You know, what Malala is trying to do or paint the picture that every region has its own particular leader and nobody else should get into that place. But I think, just like you've said, because he's bidding for Deputy President William Ruto, that's an open secret as we speak today. You cannot understand how and why Deputy President William Ruto has comfortably been having meetings and political gatherings in most parts of Western Kenya, and even recently. And I've never heard Malala really speak anything ill about those meetings. He has not castigated Deputy President William Ruto or even the organizers who come from those parts of western part of Kenya for organizing rallies for Deputy President William Ruto. When Kotus Francis Atwoli decides to have a meeting, one which is being planned on Friday this week, one which is so meticulous, a meeting that is being on board all political leaders, the opinion leaders, the elders coming from that Luhya nation really coming together at Buhungu Stadium just to try and listen in and see whether really they can body together with the rest of Kenya's Azimio la Umoja movement. I don't find anything that is so weird that will make, of course, Cleophas Malala and those within his reasoning really be uncomfortable with that particular meeting, unless therefore they are confirming our worst worries and of course suspicion that they have been working and bidding for Deputy President William Ruto. But now they get to understand that the workings and whatever they've been doing for Deputy President William Ruto is not paying any dividends for them, and they are trying very hard to try and of course shove off those who have already made inroads and have a big saying in terms of voter support in most parts of Western Kenya. And that's why you see the likes of Cleophas Malala are really very, very comfortable. These are people I suspect have gotten money from Deputy President William Ruto to try and, of course, sabotage and bid for him in as far as the coming general election is concerned. But Dr. Masanga, just like you've said, Francis Atwoli, the Kotu Secretary General, is an elder, not only in the Luhya nation, but is an elder today in the Republic of Kenya. And I think even if you are to cross over to Uganda, like Dr. Masanga has said, this is a man who commands, of course, following a man whom you will give ears, not necessarily because of his political persuasion or whatever it is, but because he's an elder and is bound to give us wisdom and the way forward regarding even a political direction that the Luhya nation or even the people of Kenya really will take, because he's not doing this for any hidden agenda, but basically being an elder, this is what he thinks is right for this nation, because by the end of the day, it is about the prosperity of this nation. And for him, it is not like we must have a Luhya, a person really leading as a president. Anybody with the capacity and the competence and the skills and the qualification to lead this nation come 2022, the one who will be taking over from President Uhuru Kenyatta when he retires, must be that person who is equal to the task. And I think it is within Francis Atwoli's right, a democratic right really, to come and even advise the Luhya nation on which direction to take. And some people, as we have seen, are very, very uncomfortable with that particular situation. But I like the fact that the preparations towards that event have already taken shape. Even yesterday, I saw Atwoli and some leaders, of course, visiting Buhungu Stadium, just trying to see how the preparations toward these events are ongoing. And I can assure you, Dr. Masanga, that there's nothing that will stop this particular meeting from taking place on Friday. And anyone who will really attempt to interrupt or bring chaos during that particular meeting, then they are going to be to face the full wrath of the law, Dr. Masanga. And on this other point about lawmakers, I want to imagine they could be drawn from the Tanga Tanga Brigade, who are trying to see on maybe to bring a motion or something in terms of a bill to try and clip President Uhuru Kenyatta, to clip the president's power. I agree with you, Dr. Masanga. This politician must be told that whenever they make these laws, it should not be about an individual. It is not targeting an individual. These laws are for posterity. These laws are for this generation and generations to come. So when you think you're going to bend the law simply because it's President Uhuru Kenyatta who is in office today, how about if Deputy President William Ruto, God forbid, is elected next year? He will have to actually rule under the same laws that they are trying to legislate. So they should be very careful to make these laws for posterity and not targeting an individual per se, because that's essentially what they're trying to do. But I can assure you also on this, Dr. Masanga, they're not going to succeed. There have been chest stamping all over, saying they have numbers, that no bill can that has been sponsored by President Uhuru Kenyatta and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga that can sail through or see light of the day. But we have seen time and again that when you look into what has been happening both in the Senate and the National Assembly, and even during the passage of the BBI bills in the County Assembly, it clearly tells you who has the numbers. And it is not just numbers for the sake of it. It is because most people who really are sane in their mind, people who believe that this country needs to move forward, that President Uhuru Kenyatta and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga are doing the right thing, are in the right side of history by supporting the agenda that President Uhuru Kenyatta has been championing and advocating for. And that is why they have chosen it really to support his agenda. And even I suppose tomorrow there will be, Parliament has been recalled, if I'm not very wrong, really to discuss about this matter of of course, the political parties coalition bill and such kind of things, Dr. Masanga. And it is going to be yet another testament, because these people, they just jump out there, they make loud noises, but when they come to the floor of the House, when they are supposed to be heard loudly in terms of legislation, they are defeated because they don't have anything of reason, anything of substance really to persuade and convince anyone really to get to their side of the divide. So this is an exercise in futility. Dr. Masanga is dead on arrival. And regardless whether it will even sail through, they should do this with a mind that it is not President Uhuru Kenyatta who is going to be a president forever, a president for eternity. Someone else will come and take over from President Uhuru Kenyatta, and it could be any of them, any of us. So when you make these laws, don't make them with a particular person in your mind. Dr. Masanga, I submit.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm having my coffee quietly because this is now is no more festive season.
Yes, sure.
And right where I am is very cold, and therefore I tend to have some coffee. But let me come in on this situation. Our question of today, if you can read it properly, you are a newsreader yourself, an anchor, read that question. It talks of, is it the Kenyan constitution which is bad or faulty, or the bad mindset of the citizens? Is it the two? Dawish, has it shocked you?
Dr. Masanga, you know, this is something that has been off debate for quite some time. And from where I see, Dr. Masanga, it is my opinion that is a combination of both factors. There's a bad mindset and attitude from the citizenry of this republic. But equally so, we also borrowed or copy-pasted a constitution, a set of laws that is not really is not proportional to our circumstance, and I think that is why we are struggling really even to live up with this constitution. You are asking last time, how can a Kenyan, of course, a government or a country like Kenya have bicameral houses? How can we have like over 400 or so, almost 500 lawmakers? I mean, why should we have say, for example, the Senate in the first place? Why don't we even be able to harmonize and have just one assembly? Because by the end of the day, they're almost doing the same thing. There's a lot of duplication and such kind of things. So to some extent, Dr. Masanga, I think it is a combination of both factors. One is that we borrowed a constitution that does not that does not really harmonize with our circumstances as a people, and of course also as a continent. We went and borrowed this from the US, from a developed country, and brought it to Africa, brought it to Kenya. And that's why you see every other time we struggle really to live with the expectation of the dictates of this constitution. That is why even the Building Bridges initiative, Dr. Masanga, was really ideal, that we were going to try and correct some of the things in this constitution so that we are realistic in a way that there are certain things we cannot quite live like what the US is doing with their own constitution, because our circumstances, our situation is completely different. So you cannot have the same in Africa. But equally so, Dr. Masanga, we also have a citizenry with a bad and a negative attitude and mindset. One who are not just supporting, say, for example, the government of the day, like today, when you saw what happened during the previous debate on the political parties coalitions bill on the floor of the House. I mean, you could clearly see lines being drawn that the people who are supporting Deputy President William Ruto are opposing this particular legislation, not because it's bad, but because it's being fronted by President Uhuru Kenyatta and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But if you are to sit down with them and ask them, what is it that is wrong in this particular bill, then nobody will tell you exactly what is wrong with this bill. So it's a very bad mindset that we need. Sometimes we do things not necessarily because we believe what we are doing but because we want to massage the egos of the masters. We want to make Deputy President William Ruto or anyone who we are serving to be happy, and not necessarily because we want to serve the people who have elected us into those offices. So I think in terms of the mindset, Dr. Masanga, that's where it comes in. It is time then we need to get into realism and say, Let us do everything for the sake of the people and the interests of the people of Kenya, and not necessarily for the short-termism of our political interests and ambitions. Because by the end of the day, we will be here and other people will be coming to take over from us. There will be a generation after us. So if we are making legislation today, let us make them for posterity and those that are going to guide this nation, or to actually sail this nation to a safe harbor, and not the kind of shenaniganism and political contestation that we continue to witness today in our country. These politics and elections will come and go. President Uhuru Kenyatta is serving his second and last term in office as president. He will be exiting power once elections are done, probably next year or sometimes later, whichever way comes first, Dr. Masang. And therefore, when we make these laws, let's not make them targeting a particular individual. Dr. Masanga, does it not even surprise you that during the Building Bridges initiative debates, and Deputy President William Ruto has been moving around the country saying the BBI was intended to give Raila Odinga a smooth ride to State House, or even to create positions for Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga, and other opposition leaders? The question, an honest, candid discussion that we must be having. Were we going to have the names of these particular individuals on the Building Bridges proposal that we are passing this bill to create a position for a particular individual? Say, for example, if it's about creating a position of a prime minister, and the BBI bill is very express on the same, that we are going to have a person with a majority of members in the Senate or National Assembly. How can it then be concluded that it's going to be former Prime Minister Raila Odinga or Kalonzo Musyoka or Musalia Mudavadi? It could as well be Deputy President William Ruto. It could be as well Aden Duale. It could as well be any other person who commands a majority. So when someone comes and hoodwinks Kenyans openly and in daylight, that these bills and legislations are intended to favor a particular individual, I think, Dr. Masanga, this is hypocrisy, and one which you must actually speak about, and tell of these individuals who are propagating a falsehood for the purposes of their ambitions. Dr. I submit.
Thank you very much. This is my take. We have 8 minutes. I'll use 6. Before we come to the top of the hour. Thank you very much, viewers. Constitutions across the continents or globally are made to protect the sovereignty of states. Constitutionalism is the act of understanding your constitution, using your constitution to survive, to live, to exercise your rights of National Assembly, National Association, national choice. A constitution protects any citizen across in Africa, in Kenya, and any other part of the world from the type of injustices that could be meted on them as a result of excessive powers and so on and so forth. But the Constitution does not remain there alone. The Constitution must be in the interest of the people of that particular nation. The Constitution across Africa, any constitution, any country, must safeguard the interests of the people of that country. Across Africa is your constitution safeguarding your interests. But the constitutions that are made, that are cut and pasted from developed countries to developing or non-developing countries or third world countries that are emerging out of colonialism, are constitutions that can derail such a state in Africa. The Kenyan constitution, therefore, falls partly in one of these categories. The framers of the Kenyan constitution left a lot of loopholes, simply typed, pasted and placed on the templates of the Kenyan constitution, changed the livelihood of Kenyans. Some of the things have worked, some have not worked. You can like me, you can hate me, but I am speaking as a scholar who has researched and looked at several articles in the Kenyan constitution that don't match Africa, that don't match Kenya. A country with a population of 42 million, having over 30 institutions, commissions, paying huge amounts of money. Yet those jobs could be done by narrowing down the type of institutions that Kenya has. And yet those institutions draw salary, but they deliver very little to the citizens of Kenya. Look at the Equality Commission. It could be merged with some other social service commission and in one ministry. And one commission. But when you have several commissioners in different commissions, drawing salaries, that constitution, they draw the money which is supposed to go to the people of disabilities. Does that constitution serve you? The Kenyan constitution was mainly drawn from the United States of America constitution, where you have two houses, the House of Congress and the House of Senate. Where in Africa, where an economy, small as it is, even South Africa, which has got the biggest economy on this continent, does not have two houses. Zimbabwe has two houses, simply, but the people, the senators in Zimbabwe, work more or less like MPs. Britain has two houses because it has the money. It affords to pay the MPs. It affords to pay both the members of House of Commons and the Lords. I have my friends, very many of them, baronesses and the Lords in the Lords. But if you look at the work that they do, it has nothing that siphons taxpayers' money. But the question in Kenya, therefore, which worries me, as a scholar, as a researcher, as a political scientist, is the constitution of Kenya does, in some parts, not help Kenyans. It helps the framers who might have had in mind NGO system that Britain will offer us support, we change the country. America will offer us support to change the country. South Africa will offer us support to change the country. Therefore, Kenyans, is it the constitution which is faulty? The answer is yes. That's why Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta decided to have a BBI, a relook at the constitution. What bothers us most? What makes us fight every 5 years? Isn't it the constitution? because the constitution limits you to one avenue. The winner takes it, and the loser has nowhere to go. The loser is put in a dustbin, forgotten, used, thrown out. Yet he has got support of 6-7 million. What else can you tell such a person in Africa? Do you say you have nothing to offer us? Do you come and say nothing you can't give us? We are not interested. Is Africa aware? And how many Africans are aware of those constitutions? Who knows their constitution in and out? Does your constitution serve you, or it serves the interests of those framers? Has it served you? Isn't it true that the constitutions are not static? They are dynamic. Why then do we refuse? Why then do we refuse to change the constitution? Africa needs to change, and the change must come constitutionally. But the constitution that does not even help you. For example, there's nobody in Kenya. Very few people get their checks when they have lost employment. But we have a full department of employment, a full department of elderly. How many elders are getting their checks? Isn't it time for you to look at the constitution and say, we change this and radicalize it and put it in a better way, such that people can benefit from the constitution? The last example of a bad constitution is the balkanization of a state. We are balkanized, whereas in America, the democracy has been there for 250 years. Whereas in Britain, the democracy has been there 1,800 years. In Kenya, the democracy has just been there 58 years to 59. It has not reached a level where people understand that if I am in Minneapolis, if I'm in New York, if I am in Orient, if I am in Carolina, South Carolina or North Carolina, in Dakota, if I am in Washington, I'm the same as those people in California. Isn't it time for you people, Kenyans? You looked at your constitution, that by framing you and giving you a political leader who comes from your own county as the governor, you have created political tribal warlords. This is the same message that brought Siad Barre to a very unconclusive end. When Siad Barre tried in Somalia, across as we are going to see top of the hour, tried to do devolution, did it wrongly. My fellow Africans, Kenyans, is it your constitution which is fault, or the mindset of our people, of our politicians? Are we the people who are to blame, or the constitution which needs overhauling, which people are trying to overhaul and the people are resisting? Are these not the same subjects, same articles that were obnoxious in 2010, that the deputy president did not like them, but today is opposed to not lifting, removing them, changing them? Is it the mindset? Therefore, politicians who change their colors as they dance the music of each year as it comes. One of the things that I agree with Mutahi Gunyi is that if you are self-made, you have not gone to school. It means you have lost the idea of being given tools of analysis. But you have given yourself tools of analysis. And that is dangerous for anybody who aspires to be a leader anywhere in Africa. I submit. Thank you very much, viewers. I don't know whether I've made some sense, Tawish.
Absolutely, Dr. Ari, absolutely.
Yes, let's finish it here. Thank you very much. Those who were watching Good Morning Africa, we come to the end of our show, and we shall take an interlude and bring back diplomatic leaks coming on the top of the hour now. Diplomatic leaks. Is Somalia at the brink? Who can save Somalia? Today, I will be moderate, balanced. I want to appeal to my Somali people. What can we do for Somalia? Get tuned. Let's go to a break. When we come up top of the hour, diplomatic leaks, it's 5 minutes past 11. We shall start, but start with several topics, several clips on Somalia. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Africa. God bless our nations. God bless Kenya. This station is for Africa, with Africa, by Africa.